First, there was Barbenheimer, and now there is a new double feature in town. Glicked, Gladiator II and Wicked, two of the most anticipated movies of the year, and they're out the same day. And ET is giving you a double feature look at these two blockbusters.
You know, last year we had Barbenheimer, right? This year we have Glicked, Gladiator and Wicked.
Yeah.
What do you recommend to those seeing the double features? Which one to see first?
That's a good question. I think probably Wicked first in the morning, and then finish with Gladiator too, but I don't, like, whichever floats your boat. Yeah.
See, I would have done opposite. I would have done Gladiator, get into the gore, get into the action, and then...
Do you want to see that around breakfast time? I don't know.
That is true.
Yeah.
I just sat down with Mr. Paul Mescal in London, and he has decided that he wants November 22nd to be called
Glicked. If it has a similar effect to what it did for Barbie and Oppenheimer, it would be amazing.
Glicked.
No.
Do we agree with this?
We agree.
Are we okay with this?
We are okay with
It's
that.
Glicked Day.
It's Glicked
We like
Day.
Glicked Day.
We like that. We like that day.
Gladiator 2 opens nearly 25 years after the first film, so ET is looking back at the original movie and at this action-packed sequel.
You know, audiences, I think, are most familiar with you for normal people. And then, of course, you were nominated for an Oscar for After Sun. But after this, now you are going to be Gladiator, Paul Mescal. Are you ready to step into this blockbuster leading man era?
Yeah, I think it's interesting because I agree with that point, but as you said, on a very different scale, I think I've carefully built a career to this point. And I know that probably this will be the thing that most people will see.
You have something in you. Rage. Never let it go. It will carry you.
I hope that there's many other films that follow that define it. Like, you look at an example like Russell, he had built a career before Gladiator. Gladiator is one of his best performances, but he's been brilliant in many things before and after, and hopefully I can
So
do that.
you're bitten by this genre a little bit now.
I'm bitten by working with this man.
Okay.
I don't know necessarily the genre, but yeah, absolutely.
I got that. Do you see Paul as an actor that can have longevity in this genre?
Yes, I mean, I think he's so got all the.
Use this.
Sorry.
It's like I'm a filmmaker.
I'll project.
He's got all the attributes, components. Sounds cold, this, but acting is really a science as well as an emotional experience, right? And the most powerful thing any good actor has, I think, is intuition, great intuition.
Yeah.
And he's very intuitive. So, and when you have that intuition, it's gold dust.
You hit the gym, you hit the weights, you ran, you did all of those things, all of them to prepare, I guess, as Denzel said it, to get beat up by the best, you know? Is it true that you found, like, the training fun?
Yeah. I think because I grew up playing sports, so it wasn't like an alien language to me.
Sure.
I think, and not to kind of undermine the work that goes into it, but I think actors like making a meal out of how hard training is, and acting is so much harder than going to the gym. Because productions like Ridley, they give you the infrastructure to, you just have to follow the exact, as you said, it's a science. It's a science to putting on muscle, and the only part that you have to play in it is actually showing up and doing it, which is difficult, but that's the first part of the work, and then you have to go and analyze the character and play the character that's out in front of you.
Ridley, I don't know if you know this, but Paul Mescal likes a short moment.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
He likes a short. You know this, right? Did your love for the short moment make it easier to lean into the short skirt?
I think Ridley always wanted the shorts a little bit longer, and I wanted the shorts a little bit, or the skirt a little bit shorter. So I think we met in the middle.
Yeah.
I own you now. But whose head could I give you to satisfy your fury?
The general will do. Rome has taken everything from me. But I will have my vengeance.
So you had to be pin perfect with this one, like Russell Crowe in the first one. So what was it about Paul that made you say, this is my Lucius?
So what I do is I tend to look at all the indie movies, the incoming, the fresh talent. I tend to watch that, mainly because of the originality and how they have to make the most of what they haven't got money-wise, right? And in that, I see new talent, both directors and actors. And I came across Normal People, not my kind of show. I watched it for 20, oh, this is interesting. I then binged for 8 hours. At the end of it, I realized the guy, this geezer, had all the DNA of the possible being the grandson of Marcus Aurelius, i.e. Richard Harris. You look at the...
Yeah.
Here it is.
There we go.
This is a bit of an overreaction, though.
The 8 hours told me everything he could do. And I knew he'd have to do different things and more on this, but right there's everything.
I know who you played in Normal People wasn't by design for Ridley Scott to see that, but when you hear him say, I saw him, he brought me in, I binged it for 8 hours, and I knew this was my guy.
Yeah. Like, it's madness.
Yeah.
Coming up.
But that concept, Ridley Scott, 185 AD, that just wouldn't leave my head, you know?
We'll be right back. Stepping into the arena as a gladiator can be quite the task, and Ridley Scott seems to know how to cast a lead who leaves us entertained.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
I didn't get a completed script. I got told a concept. And it was basically Ridley Scott, it's 185 AD, and you start off as a general. And the script that they did have bears no relationship whatsoever to the movie that we made. It was far more cynical and modern, and it had sort of jokes about ancient advertising and stuff like that, nothing that was very interesting at all. But that concept, Ridley Scott, 185 AD, that just wouldn't leave my head, you know? And so I got on board this giant collaboration, and we sort of stepped forward together and try and do it. It's not something that I'd normally do. You know, I have, you know, relatively hard and fast rules about the quality of the script before I do a job. But if you're ever going to take a leap of faith on this sort of thing, you want to take it with this group of men, you know?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
And with the physical training, see, I didn't want him to have a kind of an iconographic contemporary gym look. I wanted him to be a little more brutish than that, you know? But what I basically did is I listed all the things that I was required to do in the script, and basically constructed the body that could do all those things. You know, I got very injured during the course of this film, you know. We never shut down production or did any of those sort of things, which would have been nice. But you know, I cracked a bone in my foot, I fractured a bone in my hip, had both bicep tendons pop out of their groove in the shoulder. I woke up one morning in England, went into the bathroom, and your bicep tendon runs up through here and it goes in this little groove here in your shoulder. And I woke up and I had, so it's supposed to run that way. And I had a welt on my shoulder like that. And I was thinking, gee whiz, what's that? And I started playing with it. Oh, that's part of me. Oopsie poopsie. So I had to come a shot of Jack Daniels and stick it back in the groove, you know. The tiger thing was an afterthought. We went through a lot of different possibilities, one of which was a rhino, which went haywire on the internet when people heard that I was going to be fighting a rhino. And I was really looking forward to it, you know. But at the end of the day, they thought, oh no, well, if we get 4 tigers, right, we can shoot them in 6 days and it's going to cost X, and the rhino is going to cost too much money. But will the tigers do what you want them to do? That's a completely different concept and series of questions. And the answer to it is no, they won't. And eventually, obviously, you know, we got all the stuff. But I think we doubled the cost of the rhino.
Maximus!
I don't usually like watching the things that I'm in, you know. mainly because I play a lot of very serious and emotional roles, you know. And there's some, you know, there's emotional moments in this film, but I found myself absolutely swept up by its scope, you know. And, mate, when that cavalry charge at the beginning of the movie, I was hooping and hollering, you know. Patres, what do we do in life?
Echoes in eternity.
Coming up.
You paid homage to the madness that Joaquin brought in the first film very, very well. And I know that legacy kind of sat with you. Did it sit with you?
We'll be right back with more Gladiator 2. Every gladiator needs a foe, sometimes two.
How did you master the laugh? Because the laugh, like, is kind of crazy in different parts. I'm wondering, did you try different ones? Was it just something that came out?
It's hard to. I feel that it's one of those things that comes from the character.
Yeah.
Where you, the time and the work beforehand ends up being, as Joe was saying, this work with the relationship and you're just finding all the details that inspire you, and then as you get closer to do it,
right,
things come out and yeah. But I'm glad that it resonated.
It definitely did. It definitely did. Joseph, you are like having to compartmentalize in a lot of ways because you were filming this like big action blockbuster at the same time you're doing Fantastic Four. Now you're promoting this and you're still shooting Fantastic Four, correct?
Yes, correct.
So it's like, how has that been? Because you're also with Pedro in that as well.
Yes, well, it's a treat getting to work with Pedro again.
Yeah.
He's a hilarious and wonderful friend. So that's it's always good going into an environment where there's a familiar face. I guess, yeah, compartmentalizing. We finished this. When did we finish this? Last year?
Coming up on
Christmas.
a year ago, yeah.
Had a little break, but yeah, it's good to be busy.
Well, you're in your action star era now.
I suppose so.
That's what the kids say.
Well, hey, there you go.
This is for the both of you guys. It's rage and vengeance that drives Lucius in this movie. What drives you in real life?
Same. What drives me? I think a combination of God, it's weird to put oneself under the microscope in that way, but I think kind of a combination of curiosity. I think in relation to work and probably some fear as well. I think kind of you've got to be uncomfortable. I think in order to grow in this art form anyway. I think it's so curiosity, and then if I don't think if I'm frightened of doing something, I'm probably in a good place. Means I'm in the right place, I think.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree that you want to find the things that you don't know if you can figure out, you don't know if you can manage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's where new things arrive from. You know, that kind of leap is important for an artist. So I try and follow the fear a bit. And I think desire is a lovely force in art.
When you are one-on-one in a scene with the great Denzel Washington, do you have that exhale moment like, all right, here we go? Or what is that like for you when you know you're stepping into the arena, pun intended?
It was extraordinary. I don't think there was anything combative about it. Denzel is not. He's very quick to. He's a collaborator. He's a great scene partner.
I guess I'm asking more so because Paul was saying he was a little nervous even introducing himself.
Yes, I was certainly nervous to meet him, but in terms of working with him, it's amazing how collaborative and not to say that that's a surprise. He's just a professional and a very inspiring one. But yeah, it's not every day that you're in a scene with him, so I was certainly nervous. Yeah.
And I think you paid homage to the madness that Joaquin brought in the first film very, very well. And I know that legacy kind of sat with you. Did it sit with you? Like that legacy that you had to maintain for this movie?
Yes, I think it's something that was driving us a little bit. We were mindful of it and inspired by his work that he'd done, but we knew that we'd have to try and claim this in our own way, in our own deranged way.
weeks leading up to the fight, just would go over the routine. We had a really great choreographer, and so they designed this fight in a few segments. First with a sword, and then there was a knife, and then just a fist fight, and we'd just go over those routines just over and over for I don't know, a few weeks leading up to the fight.
The general who became a slave. The slave who became a gladiator. The gladiator who defied an emperor. A striking story.
He's a brilliant actor in this film, but I just think he's extraordinary in this. And he's such a giving person, also as an actor and just a person who'd throw parties and take you sailing, and just kind of took me under his wing and really took care of me, because I was a bit nervous, honestly, when we started.
Why?
Just the sheer size of it. I never really worked on a picture like this, and when I first arrived to the camp in Germania, I just was driving up the road, and I went, oh my God, what have I got myself into? I had no idea, and there's just, many extras and crew. It was a big production.
Coming up.
Yes, it is connected very, very strongly to the first one in the most beautiful of ways, but it has a different story to tell.
More of our look at Gladiator 2 after the break.
I knew a man once. A noble man. A man of principle who loved my father. And my father loved him. This man served Rome well.
Well, I certainly hope that this movie gets some attention, because I think it's a beautiful movie, and I think it's a big, but yet at the same time, complex story as well. So I of course I hope that Ridley is going to get some mention here. I think he did a great job.
Connie Nielsen reprises her role from the original film and joins a stacked new cast in Gladiator 2.
Everything is forgotten in time. Empires fall.
Gladiator 2 is its own standalone story. Yes, it is connected very, very strongly to the first one in the most beautiful of ways, but it has a different story to tell. And at the same time, though, it honors all of the themes of the first film. For me, the value part is really what is so strong in Gladiator 1, and I think it's a very big reason for why people respond so much to Gladiator 2.
Denzel said the same thing, because, he's not an actor that loves to be in sequels. He's like, this is not a sequel.
No.
We kind of had a little back and forth about it. He's like, no, it's not. He says, Godfather 2 a sequel? No, this is not a sequel.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But Godfather 2 is a sequel.
Oh. See, now
he's only saying that because Denzel is not here.
I'm starting something. You guys hit the gym, you hit the weights, you did a lot of training for this. I think Denzel said you pumped up to get beat up by the best.
Yeah.
So that process for you, Paul said it was fun.
Yeah, I bet it was. I bet it was fun for him. Maybe it would have been fun for me too if I was 20 years younger. I know that I actually, and I was under no single directive from the movie to get in any kind of shape.
But you did.
But I did.
Yes, you
but
did.
You did.
Mainly so that I wouldn't get hurt. And it didn't work. I got hurt anyway. I got as stronger than I'd ever been, just so that I could do just so that I could play the character, really.
Do you see this? I just got fined just so I could
No,
play the character.
No, but he, like the whole thing, because the whole thing was just so
Thank you very
amazing.
much.
Like, he was just very impressive. Like, as soon as I saw him in the general gear, I was like,
let me not be, I'm not going to be false. Let's just say, I saw Ridley today and he was like, oh, your belly's gone.
he did say that.
Did he really?
He said,
so I didn't get into that great a shape.
Your gut is gone. And
My
it's like,
gut is
what
gone.
gut?
Yeah.
I was like, there was no gut.
Because he was snatched in a leather armor.
I'm going to stand on this. I did feel this freeness from you. And I know the character is playful and menacing and all that.
I haven't seen the movie with an audience.
Oh.
I saw an earlier cut, and there have been changes made from the cut I saw. Not that affects anything that you're saying, but I haven't seen it with an audience. Ridley Scott's a genius. He and I have had great success or because of him, I had great success with American Gangsters.
You understand what I'm saying? Hey, Frank, get in line.
So I trust him completely, and you never know where the cameras are. He carries 12, 14 cameras. So there's a trust.
Okay.
You know, the time to worry about flying is when you're on the ground. If you don't trust the pilot, don't go. I trust the pilot.
What does that say, though, about, I don't know, your career, how you tap into the art, that at 70 and 50 years in, you're almost
69.
70. I know.
And
Let me
10
correct
months.
myself. Almost 70, though, you're still wowing us with something we haven't seen before from you. I haven't seen what you did in this movie. I have not seen from you. Haven't seen it.
I mean, right.
You're like, I know, I go to work to do that, but
That's
come
what
on.
I go to work to do. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I've been at this 48 years. I think I'm getting better.
Yeah.
If not in this film, I'll be even better, hopefully, in Othello.
Do you listen to the buzz? Because there's been so much. There's been a ton.
I've heard it every different way one can hear it. I've been around a long time. You know, thank you.
Okay, I will take that. You're welcome.
That's it for our look at Gladiator 2, but don't go anywhere. We have Wicked coming up. Wicked on the big screen is finally here, y'all. And to celebrate, E.T. is revisiting the Broadway show and taking a look at this long-anticipated film.
Popular. I know about popular.
Come on, looks. Okay, fashion. I mean, so you're tired of the green and pink yet, or are you loving it?
No, we love.
Never, right?
Never.
tired.
No.
We love it. There are so many different ways to interpret them.
Are the eyelashes glued tight tonight? I know it's been an emotional press tour.
They could be glued as tight as they want to be, but that doesn't mean they're not going to come off.
I'm really sorry. We're really sorry.
It just happens.
It's really
It
emotional.
happens. We can't help it.
You need to understand. It's
We're
been like
weeping.
3 years, people. Why does emotional availability scare you so?
Tears aside, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's coordinated looks once again encapsulated the essence of Elphaba and Glinda. Lucky for boyfriend Ethan Slater, Ariana's T-length dress meant he had a night off from train duty, like we saw in Australia, though she made sure his bow tie was perfectly centered. Thank goodness we have Ethan Slater looking out for our trains, right? Seriously, how adorable was that moment for you?
Oh my God, I mean, it's always that. He's always that adorable. And he's so amazing in this film. He's such an amazing person. I'm so happy people are getting to know him. My heart is very happy.
What's it like to share this experience together?
I'm so proud of Ariana. She's incredible in this movie. And now to be able to share in the celebration of it, I'm just grateful.
The film hits theaters November 22nd, but at the premiere, some fans were disappointed. Why? 6 days after Jonathan Bailey rocked short shorts in Sydney, he kept his legs covered up while delivering a nod to Dorothy's iconic ruby slippers. No shorts tonight?
I'm wearing some underneath.
What are you feeding those things, man? The legs, my God.
I'm telling you, if you want legs like that, you got to dance.
J-Lo showed off one very strong leg with her surprise appearance. Also there, a blonde Michelle Yeoh and Broadway originals Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel. 21 years ago, you premiered on Broadway, and now we're at the LA premiere.
I mean, you always hope they do a movie, especially when it's a juggernaut like this was. And then you think, God, I hope I'm alive when they do it. So I'm glad I'm still hanging in.
Kristen and I are just so proud that we were a part of creating this beautiful legacy.
This whole film is really a love letter to the stage production.
Coming up.
Not when it comes to popular. I know about popular. But it's been a great experience.
More of our look at Wicked after the break. The film adaptation of Wicked has been years in the making, and it would not have been possible, of course, without the Broadway show that premiered over 20 years ago.
To try defying gravity.
been like for you to get to play such an iconic character and sort of bring a fresh side to that
I
character?
love it. I love it. I love the fact that the audience comes in not knowing what to expect, or they expect this woman that they've grown up seeing in the movie, and that I can break all those stereotypes. And from the moment I come out, I start, breaking the rules, and it's a great challenge.
Do you see a lot of the fans and stuff starting to recognize you even without the green face?
No, when I come out of the show, yeah. But no, a lot of times people don't realize they're talking to me unless someone tells them my name. The green is just so masking.
So just sort of taking it all in, like how are you reacting to everything that's going on around you? Very, very popular right now. Everyone's really interested in you.
Oh, that's sweet. That feels great. I just, the kids come to the show and they're just so moved and inspired by it, and I'm just so happy that it's really touching people that way. It's very rewarding.
Not when it comes to popular. I know about popular, and with an assist from me to be who you'll be instead of dreary who you were, well, are. There's nothing that can stop you from becoming popular.
So you must be coming up on the end of the show pretty soon.
I leave in 11 shows left. I know. I'll probably be sad the day before and the last day, but I've got a Carnegie Hall concert in September, and I got a couple of movies I'm going to get to go do. I'm excited to move on to other things, but it's been a great experience. I've known this one since she was really a little tiny little thing. She came in, Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and met me backstage at Wicked, and my dog, Madeline Kahn.
I won. I got to go backstage.
You want to come? Oh.
I was like, Mom, I need to meet Kristen Chenoweth.
And here she stands.
That's a moment, Ariana.
This is why we're emotional. I mean,
we've cried 100 times today. The two of us are basket cases. We have been crying. It's such an emotional journey for everybody. And to be here with you, especially with our cute story of me being like, oh, please pick me, to meet you and now just being here together is so beautiful.
I knew when I met her, that she was special.
Coming up.
We sort of had a very real conversation and just, first of all, bonded, and it was a 5-hour hangout. We had the
chilled
best
on
time.
my floor and chatted.
We'll be right back. When E.T. sat down with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, they told us all about taking on these iconic roles.
Are people born wicked? Or do they have wickedness thrust upon them? You're green.
I am. I can't imagine what my brain would do if I walked onto those sets, you know?
Nathan Crowley, who designed our sets, is like the most insane,
wonderfully talented,
brilliant person in the world.
Yeah.
And every single detail is so thoughtful. Even every single prop you see in our bedroom, in our dorm room, has written in all of the journals. Like there are pictures in all of the frames. There are little nuanced things everywhere that are so thoughtful, and we're so lucky.
You know, you guys know too that these roles were some of the most coveted roles in Hollywood, and you got them. Now, when you get the call, and you know I'm playing Elphaba and I'm playing Galinda, is there a pressure on your shoulders? What did you do with that pressure? And like, did you just have a scream at first and then, I don't know.
Definitely the screams, definitely the tears. And I think both of us then realized that we had a huge responsibility to make sure that these characters were taken care of.
Yeah.
And that we told the very truthful nature of who these people are.
Because it's not just the characters.
No.
We want the music. We're in love with the music. We're in love with the story. We're in love with the imaging. We're in love with it all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can room with Miss Galinda.
Popular. I know about popular. Oh, I saved you some space, by the way.
Do you really think this is fair?
I do not. I was promised a private suite. But thanks for asking.
Both of us then set to work on our various training journeys to make sure that we could bring it to you the way we needed to. You know, I think neither one of us took it very lightly at all.
No.
We were mad women trying to make sure that
I can dig it.
This was right.
I caught the credits.
Yes.
I caught
Yes.
Ariana Grande Butera.
Yeah.
At the end of that.
Yeah.
What was your dad's reaction knowing that Butera made it?
Oh man.
Oh no, babe. Babe.
Oh,
Yeah.
He cried.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Talk about a dream manifesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. He cried, and you know, it just that was my name when I first saw Wicked, and I do feel, not to sound like a broken record, but I do feel like this role and this project helped me sort of come home to little Ari, and maybe little pieces of her got lost along the way in this crazy industry. And I am so grateful for the ways in which this experience led me back. So I kind of just like wanted to capture that. It happened so randomly. I literally was just like, remember I texted you.
You texted me, yeah.
I said, I haven't told anyone, but
Yeah.
I think I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And she said, holy yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
That's
about
right.
the power in that, though.
Yeah.
For
It's
real.
very, very, very powerful.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you feel like it's a small thing, but
It's
there's
not.
power in that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel small to me either.
It's huge.
Being authentically you.
Yeah.
Presenting you like,
Yeah.
oh, man.
And my dad cried. I surprised him.
Yeah.
John was so generous. He sent me, before he was supposed to send me, sorry Universal, cat's out of the bag.
It's all right.
He sent me the credits because he knew that people were gonna start seeing it soon, and he was scared someone was gonna talk about it before he got to see it and me surprise him. And so I pulled it up on my laptop and I recorded him secretly. And I told him I wanted to show him the typography of the credits, because he's a graphic designer. He loves that
graphics,
stuff.
yeah.
And anyway, it was a big surprise, and he cried. It was very emotional.
Well, I did not
Sorry
want
for
to
taking
cry as much as I did in this movie. I did not know that I was going to, but I think what sat with me so much is that, you know, I'm a black woman who grew up in rural Missouri with most of the people who didn't look like me and who didn't share my life experiences. You know what I'm saying? You know where I'm going. And felt like other for a large part of my life. So watching Elphaba and seeing this character, you're not gonna tell me
Not the time, helicopter!
but you're not gonna tell me that that didn't sit with you and what we saw on the screen wasn't real. And didn't come from a place, yeah. I don't know who can watch this movie and not have that.
Yeah.
And it's almost undescribable how you feel when you're watching it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to tell all of us, I see, like you're telling all of us, I see you, you know?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I just know what it's like to feel like you don't fit. Like you are just like outside of the ordinary, like there's no room for you. And I know what all of that feels like, and I guess I used Elphaba as like this wonderful opportunity to share that experience. And I think the wonderful thing about that is that I know there's so many people watching who feel the same.
Absolutely.
So I feel like it's a bit of a hug for anyone who feels that way.
That's what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. For all of us who have felt other, who have felt excluded, who have felt not wanted, who have felt dismissed or disregarded.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a huge hug.
Yeah.
And I boo-hooed. Like boo-hooed.
Yeah.
But also in the best way, because feeling like also then when you find that person who can see you, there's a healing there.
Yeah. That's right.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a
That's really
healing
beautiful.
there.
Yeah.
But that's what I saw. That's what y'all gave. That is what you're giving in this. That's what
Michelle.
you're
Thank
giving
you.
us, which isn't just a movie.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
It is. And y'all,
It is.
I told y'all I was gonna try to get through this.
Michelle, man. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank you for saying that.
She doesn't give a twig what anyone thinks.
Something is not the same. Of course she does. She just pretends not to.
You know, I know there are people out there that are probably wondering, is this sisterhood real with them? I mean, are they really like this simpatico? But I see it, and we feel it watching it, and the movie is about it.
Yeah.
Did you ever dream that you would form this kind of sisterhood together?
I think we knew we wanted that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think it is what it is without it.
It can't.
It can't be.
What was
you
the
know?
moment where you both were kind of like, oh yeah, we kind of belong together?
Do you think it was my house, or do you think it was when we sang?
I think there were many moments along the way where that always rang truer and truer and truer.
Yeah.
But from the moment we met, I mean, we sort of had a very real conversation and just, first of all, bonded, and it was a 5-hour hangout. We had the
chilled
best
on
time.
my floor and chatted. And
But also we had a very real conversation about what this was and how we were going to do it and how we needed to take care of each other as friends.
By the way, I don't know if you realize, but you were just finishing each other's sentences.
It happens.
That happens often.
Coming up.
It's just in a simple minim. Am I right?
And a simple minim?
Minim.
Minim.
That's a 2-beat note.
More of our look at Glicked after the break. Wicked not only has talented leads, but a talented supporting cast as well. Let's take a look.
I think we've all gotten bit by the bug. When I watch the movie and I'm listening to Cynthia and Ariana, like, of course, they bring the house down. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's ridiculous.
Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande.
When the first time you guys heard them sing live on stage, do you remember, and what was that like?
I did, yeah. Well, my first set that I arrived in was the Enchanted Forest, and it was enchanted and enchanting by name and nature because Cynthia was singing "I'm Not That Girl," and it was it's peculiar. You know, there were birds. Have you heard about the birds in the soundstage that would only sing when she sang? And the moment that she finished singing, the birds would stop.
No.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about it, but I did hear about that.
Well, she has this incredible, much like Elphaba, relationship with animals and nature. But yeah, there were these, on the huge sound stages, you usually have, I suppose, sort of pigeons and exotic sort of birds. Those parakeets from Southwest London. And she would sing and they would start chirping alongside her, and then when she would finish, they would too.
Oh my
But also at the same time as when she would sing, you would have, 500 crew members just stopping in their tracks, and you'd see a grown, sweaty, khaki, short-wearing man brought to tears.
Imagine it, if you will. Close your eyes.
Just in a simple minim. Am I right?
And a simple minim?
Minim.
Minim.
That's a 2-beat note.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yes. You know, that's so interesting. I'm just learning that. We have a British teacher for our kids, a piano teacher. Okay. And I always learned, half note, quarter note.
Oh, that's
and she's crotchet, minim, if you know what we're talking
and
about.
Semi-breve.
And yes. I didn't know that you knew that. Yes. And it's the first to me this year. That's right.
Did those girls, like, help you guys get comfortable, like, in your own on-set singing? Like,
100,
yeah.
110%. Hey, by the way, everybody should stop doing that. It's only 100%.
I'm with you.
Pete Rose started that. I give 110%, and now it's 140%. Look, it's 100%.
Can't get more than that.
No, just cut it out.
I'm right there with you, Jeff.
But yes, those girls helped us 150%. 150.
Something bad is happening in Oz.
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
When you're making a movie, at some point the movie starts to speak back, and it's really important that you're listening for it. And things like when we got Michelle, when we got Jeff, when we got all this cast together and we're working together, and things just, again, magically happen, and you lean in. So.
Yeah, I mean, because you guys date back to Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes,
and
we go back a long way.
I know. At the time, did you feel like it's in the stars? I got to come back to her.
Yeah, I mean, it more felt like I met my family member. Like, it was so natural. It was so warm from the very beginning. There was no pretense of anything. And she's a queen. So she told me right from the start, you know, if I'm going to play Eleanor, I'm not going to be the villain. You know that, right? I've got to speak my mind.
How can a mother be a villain, right?
Yeah. But you play very, very good.
Thank you.
Very, very good. And you were on your Oscar run through award season when you were doing this
When
film.
I was filming Wicked.
So
and actually, it was fantastic for me to have somewhere to go to where you feel loved and grounded and, you know, safe. And that it was my first ever going for the Oscar kind of thing. And you're like a ditzy going like, what's happening, you know?
Right.
And you're going in from one place to another. So coming back to London and being in the family unit was so like, it's okay, it's all right. Breathe, you can breathe. So it was good for me.
You had to go back to work after you won.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I would say less than 48 hours later, after she's on that stage with the whole world looking at her, she's back. In her costume there. I don't even know the time switch, how tired you were. And we had a surprise little cake with the Oscar on it. And I said, no, don't come to the bar. We were at the Ozdust Ballroom set. And instead we brought her at the top of the stairs. And she came out and everyone's cheering for her. And I'm screaming for her. And something just took over. I felt like, oh my gosh, it's like not the girl on TV, but Michelle, our friend, got this Oscar, and we're jumping up and down, screamed louder than I ever have.
He scared the hell out of me because he was right on the top of the stage and he was bouncing like, yeah. And he was going closer and closer to the edge. And I'm like, John, come back, I don't want you to fall down.
I was like, no, let me fall, and you'll feel better.
What a celebration that was. That was so special.
So was it an immediate yes for you when he came? And then afterwards, did he say, by the way, you gotta sing? Or did he do that?
No. I mean, I would say yes to John anytime.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Then when I read it, I go, John, you know I don't sing, right? It's the blah, 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 blah. And he's like, nah, don't worry. And then I get this video from him, Ariana and Cynthia, and I had not met these beautiful ladies yet, and they go, it's imperative you come and join us now. I'm like, okay, how do you say no to that?
That's it for ET's double feature look at Glicked, but stick around for more great content right here on ET.